Jerome Span. Of course, I'm here to tell you about our sponsor today. And our sponsor is, of course, and will forever be longstanding. Hey, mind you, he don't give me no money, but this is my man's. I got to hold him down. It is Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen, Swopes is out here trying to change lives. He's trying to help get these young athletes into college each and every week. Every day he dedicates a lot of time to this. This man has a serious passion for helping others further their education and further their lives in a lot of great ways. They are on Facebook. Make sure you look up Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. Swopes is spelled Swopes. It is ran by Mr. Nathaniel Swopes Jr. He is the man in Houston, if y'all don't know. Yes, make sure you go check him out if you're trying to get your kid into school, or hell, if you're even a kid here that's thinking about going into school and you want to try and keep playing, keep your athletic career going, make sure you go check out Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. He is the man that is going to help you keep that dream going. So make sure you follow them on Facebook, and you can get right a hold of Mr. Swopes there. He will help you get into college and keep your dream going for continuing to play your sports. So again, people, Swopes Athletic Recruiting and Scouting. Check it out now. Help change some kid around you that you know's future, or hell, even your future.
Yeah, Enigma in the house. My man Jay Span, Titan Studios. It's called From the Heart. Keeping it real is what all the song's about. Never selling your soul. Always staying true to yourself. Alright, yeah. Check it out. Money, cars. But we'll never lead you far unless you're gonna spit it from the heart. Yeah, money, cars. But we'll never lead you far unless you're gonna spit it from the start. Man, money, cars. But we'll never lead you far unless you're gonna spit it from the heart. Yeah, money.
And welcome back to another episode of your favorite weekly sports show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is ITC Sportsball. And of course, I am your man, Jerome Span. Pretty face on ITC. Don't you forget it, baby. And we are here with our draft special today, ladies and gentlemen. So instead of Terrell, we have got a special guest in the building. His is our man. We will get to the introduction. So let's hit it up top with our man, Mace. Of course, he is the number one man on the mic. I'm going to switch it up on you a little bit, Mace. He's the number one man on the mic. He is the modern day Ali on the microphone. When he steps into your home, all your ladies is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, he is that man.
You know, it's your boy Mace here, ready to go. Let's get it.
And of course, longtime supporter, longtime friend of the show. He is coming in, letting y'all know what it is. Every time he spits the truth, he gives you that hot fire. Coming in with his new show, Professionally Profane, we got our man, Dirty Dave.
Man, my man Jerome Span. I'm telling you, every time I come on this show, I keep thinking I got to put some room in the budget to have you hype me up every day, man. I'm happy to be here. It's my favorite time of the year. And, man, this off season's off to a hot start already. And, yeah, I'm ready to talk about this, man. It's a good time to be a football fan.
Yes, it is most definitely a good time to be a football fan. And, of course, you guys all know that watch this show. We love talking about the draft, right? This is one of our favorite times of the year. It is so much fun trying to predict where everybody's going to go. So we're going to split this in two parts, just so everybody knows. You'll see this first part. It will be on Sunday. You will see the second part come out either Wednesday or Thursday. It just depends. More than likely Wednesday, though. But all that being said, we got plenty to talk about, so we might as well get this thing moving. And, gentlemen, I want to start right here before we get to the Titans, because obviously we got to talk about who some of these teams are going to pick. I got to ask, this is always one of my favorite questions of the year. Who is your draft crush? Mace, let's start with you. You teased me on it already. I've been waiting to see who it is. Who is your draft crush?
Brother, it's Arian Smith out of Georgia. He reminds me a lot of Jameson Williams as a receiver. I think he's going to be a third-round steal I'm pretty. It's really all dependent on his pro day because he didn't work out at the combine. But his pro day, I think, is going to catapult him, if not into the second round, definitely third round. I'm expecting him to run somewhere around 4.25 ish. He's 6 foot. Like I said, he's built just like Jameson Williams, right? Can take the top off the defense. Hey, bro.
That's the one. That's the one. All right, Dave, who is your draft crush? Who's that guy for you, Dave, that it's like, man, he's the one. He's the one. Who is it, Dave?
I think this year's draft class is really unpredictable from the running back perspective because it's so deep. I mean, it is as deep a running back class we've ever had. And there's one unicorn at the very top who I love. I mean, he should be everyone's draft crush, but I'm not going to name him my draft crush. We love you, Ash and John T, but not right now. I'm going to go with who I think the number 2 running back is because there's so many different options, man. But I do love Omarion Hampton from North Carolina. He is a physical guy. He's good out of the backfield, really good blocker, low center of gravity. He can make guys miss. The only thing he's missing right now is top end speed to really get away from people. But man, if you talk about who's the number 2 back in this class, a lot of talk about those 2 Ohio State backs. I think
Hampton. I don't mean to cut you off, but I think Hampton ran like a 4.55 or something, or a 4.45 or something like that at the combine. I think he's a lot faster than people think he is in a straight line. And if you ask me, like I said, I don't want to cut you off because he's my honorable mention, so I'm glad. So that's my guy too. But he's Nick Chubb. He's Nick Chubb with knee ligaments, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And his 40 time was good. I think when you watch him play his actual film, I dove into a lot of his film, and there are times where he gets run down from behind a little too often for my liking. So the good thing about him is he has that speed where he can get to the second level. And, he does have some long touchdown runs. I just more so meant that, I'd rather, if 20% of the time he could pick up 10 plus yards, I mean, you're talking about a really good running back, even if he gets brought from behind. But he's just been a really fun player to watch. He's not afraid to run guys over. He is able to get around guys, make guys miss in small spaces. I mean, you get to the line of scrimmage, those big defensive linemen, he's willing to make a quick cut, and all of a sudden he's out in space when other running backs don't get that space. So I really like him as the number 2 back in this draft.
Honestly, I love both of you guys' picks. Those are excellent picks. For me, and I know some people have already caught on to him, but for me, it's Shamar Stewart. I understand if you look at just based off of his pure numbers, his sack numbers tell you what the hell are you talking about, Jerome, right? They say that. But if you watch his film, his pressure rate and his win rate is something crazy. And no matter what, I think that is something that is always a translatable skill, right? You may not be the guy that's getting sacks, but as we all know, pressures matter a lot in this day and age in the league, especially when the ball's coming out of guys' hands in under 3 seconds a lot of the time, right? So you need somebody that's going to give you pressures consistently on the quarterback and get you wins when they get individual one-on-ones. And look, man, I think there are some very good defensive linemen in this draft. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about some of those guys right towards the top end of this draft for sure. But I think Shamar Stewart is going to be a steal for somebody because he wins at a pretty consistent rate, and that is something that you need if you're going to be a guy that gets sacks and that is really a value for your team at the NFL level. So for me, it's Shamar Stewart all day. Dave, I'm not gonna lie, I would love for him to fall to the Bears. I would love to see him on one side and Sweat on the other. Oh my God, I would love it so much. Like,
Jerome, you read my mind, brother. I was going to ask if you wanted him there at 10. I'll be honest, man.
Look, at 10, maybe not. But if we can catch him second round, one of them 2 early picks. Oh yeah, I'm in. I am in. Because
I don't. You might have to sell me on.
I think there's better options at 10 for you guys as far as an edge rusher goes.
Absolutely.
Obviously, 10, we know Abdul Carter's not going to fall past probably 5 or 6. I don't think he's going to make it past 5 or 6.
But yeah,
But,
I mean, if we're going to talk about reaching at 10, if we're going to reach at somebody at that point, in my mind, for the Bears, if we're talking just specifically Bears going pass rusher at 10, then, because I mean, we know the top guys are probably going to be off. Your next best bet is probably Mike Green out of Marshall. I mean, that guy's he's got that tape, like that weird Khalil Mack stuff where you're trying to talk yourself off of it, right? Because you're like, he's not playing against great guys, but he is just whooping their butts over and over, and it is hard not to be impressed by that. So if you're going to reach at somebody right at that point, and Carter and stuff is off the board, that's probably your guy. But I don't think they should do that. And we will get to the Bears for sure. One question I got to ask now that we've talked about your draft crushes, who's that guy? And Dave, we'll start here with you. Who's that guy that you think is just getting overhyped and that somebody's going to pick him too early and really, really regret it?
Shamar Stewart. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I don't see it with him, man. I think he's I don't think he's got he's Vernon Golston to me, man. I don't see no difference between those two prospects. He's incredibly athletic, but I mean, when you have another first round talent across from you on the edge, and you can't average more than 1.5 sacks per season, then there's got to be a reason. In a vacuum, a 1 game sample size, you don't see production. You go, okay, maybe that's just one specific game. Some things happen here and there. When it's 3 seasons worth, man, I don't see it with him. I don't see any specific moves he can go to. I think he likes to run into offensive linemen and then lets them anchor really quickly on him. He doesn't have a specific move he can go to get around a guy. I don't think he plays very smart, to be honest. I think he's a freak. He's going to get options and opportunities for a long time, but man, I just don't see it with him.
I think also part of his production numbers not being what you want, they would throw that guy inside so many times on passing downs. They would throw him inside and say, hey man, go work on the inside and go take this double team for somebody else. Right. And you got to be the dirty work guy. And my thing is that I'll tell you, this is what convinces me on him, Dave, is that when I watch his tape, when he gets his opportunities, when he gets his one-on-ones, he wins, right? They did a lot of moving him inside and moving him here, trying to just wherever they wanted to draw a double team to, they were moving him to and letting other guys go to work. So you may be right. He could have Vernon Golston, but I just don't see that. Vernon Golston was a lot of, I just ran past every defense, every tackle because I was way more athletic than them, and they had no chance. Vernon Golston, I think, is a different animal there, but I do like that comp though. That's wild because I remember a lot of people were so hyped on him, and I was like, I don't see it. So I can get it. But Mace, all right. So who do you got as your bust waiting to happen here?
And this is purely based on like a scheme thing for this player. For me, it's Jahad Campbell. For that. There are some linebackers that come out who you feel like are just plug and play, put him out on the field, he's going to make it work. For me, Campbell really has to go to the right scheme to be successful. He has a nose for the ball in the run game, but I think that he will get exposed in pass coverage unless he's in that right team. Because if a linebacker is being drafted in the first round, which he's going to be on the field 3 downs, right? Like you don't draft a guy at linebacker in the first round to take him off on 3rd down every down. You know what I'm saying? Every series. Yeah. So I really feel like he for me he feels like a Pittsburgh inside linebacker.
Good choice.
Or
that was nice. Yeah.
Pittsburgh, maybe the Raiders, given the fact that they have put a lot of stock into their defensive front. So being able to sit behind those guys would be a good fit for them. But we all know Raiders. Well, actually, they're not going to go quarterback anymore. But that's a different story.
Yeah,
man.
Them making the move that they made for Geno honest to God, guys, it messed up the top of where we'll get to their pick, right? But it totally messed me up, and I've had to be thinking about this all day, and I finally settled on a pick of who I think they're going to pick earlier. So, yeah, finally, because dude, Geno going there threw everything, a whole monkey wrench and everything.
But yeah, man, so. Yeah, said my bust is definitely like, excuse me, ooh. Like I said, it's totally dependent on scheme, but Jahad Campbell.
I can see that. So some people are not going to like what I have to say here. Some people are going to be like, this is just your Michigan hate coming out. It is not. It is based off of me watching this film. Boys, I do not see it with Judkins. I don't see what everybody else is seeing. That was going to be my
honorable mention. That was number 2 for me.
I don't see it, guys. Like, look, it's impressive. Like, when you look at just his raw numbers, right? It's impressive what he did. Like, I can't dispute it. He was a great college player. Him at the NFL, though, I just don't see it, dog. Because he's going to get, at best, this is what I would say. At best, he's going to be David Montgomery for you. At very best.
I'll take you another name. I say Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, like at the very best, that's what you're getting. You're not getting the top end guy. You're getting a guy that's good enough, and he's going to be able to get you 1,000 yards. He's going to get you some tough yards when you need them, but he's also going to get hawked down from behind. So
he does not have that second level speed whatsoever.
So I think everybody has him very, very high up, right? He's because of his career, a lot of people are very high on him, but I'm sorry. I think it is a misnomer when people are out here acting like he actually has real explosiveness. He is not NFL fast. He is not NFL explosive. He is good enough athlete, but not great. Like I said, at best, you're getting David Montgomery, like May said, Kareem Hunt. So for me, I think it's Judkins because I think somebody in the top 20 is going to take a chance on him, and they are not going to get top 20 production out of him. They're not. So.
Yeah, I could definitely see 3 running backs going in the first round. Number 3 for me would probably be Henderson, his running mate at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. But if honestly, Judkins for me, he feels like a 3rd round pick. He feels like a complimentary back to a team that needs some physicality.
Yeah, Dave, how do you feel about Judkins?
No, I'm with you on Judkins. He seems like very much like a specialist in the fact that he can do one thing. You can hand him the football, go between the tackles, run the ball there. I think your guys' comps are very, very good for him. And especially when you, as you mentioned, when you have Trevion Henderson, who is the exact opposite of him, has that big playability. Those guys that can only run between the tackles, they don't do well at the next level. I think of even a lot of guys who could only run between the tackles in college that even were drafted higher, were better prospects that couldn't do much in the NFL. They were just average at best back. So I think that's a really good pick. There's so many running backs. I think it's the only reason why I could see only one going in the top 20. But again, with how good these prospects are, I could see 3 or 4, like you guys are saying. And there's 5 or 6 options that could be there. But yeah, I wouldn't take him if I was an NFL GM.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm convinced. I mean, you're gonna have Genty, Hampton, and I'm convinced it's gonna be Henderson somewhere in the mid-20s. Those would be my 3 first round backs.
I think Henderson's gonna go there because of the fact that he can play all 3 downs for you.
Yeah,
that's why. He is a 3. Like, yes, I understood he split carries with Judkins and everything there, but that's a college.
But that saved his legs, right?
But he has a 3 down skill set, so I think that's going to be a guy that will most definitely have some much more success than Judkins at the next level. But all that being said, we got to get rolling into the actual draft here, and we know the positions of everything, right? It doesn't really seem like there's any big trades on the verge right now. We may see some, who knows? But that being said, gentlemen. Got to ask, Dave, my man, you are the guest here, so of course we're going to roll with you first here. Tennessee Titans are number 1 on the clock, right? We've seen that what their draft strategy has been for the past couple of years. It's kind of been, hey, we're going to keep swinging at a quarterback until we hit. They haven't hit yet. With the Will Levis thing worked out about as we all expected here, which was like, nah, bro, what are you doing? So all that being said, Titans are on the clock. You're their GM. Who are they picking?
Listen, if I was the Titans, I know who I would take, but I don't think they're going to do it. I think that
so give me who you think they should pick, and then who you think they actually go pick. Then
yeah. Oh, I mean, I think they should take Cam Ward. I'm super high on Cam Ward. I think he's a superstar in the making. I love Cam Ward. I think any team should have a quarterback like him. I'm probably higher on him than anybody I've seen anywhere. I think he's a future MVP. I mean, he is accurate. He is artistic. He slows the game down. He reads well. I mean, I think he's really good, but I don't think the Titans are going to take him. I think that they played their hand a little bit too much yesterday. I think they're either going to trade or they're going to go with Abdul Carter. And, you don't get rid of a Harold Landry for no reason. It's because you have another plan to get to the quarterback. And I think they even could swing with trade to 3 with New York and see if the Giants want to get up and get their guy. But I think Abdul Carter ends up on the Titans, whether it be at 1 or by trading back a couple picks.
I ain't mad at it. I am not mad at that at all. Mace, who do you got the Titans taking here?
So I'm at the same boat as Dave here. They should go get Cam Ward. Because if you look at his offense in Miami and then you look at what the Titans have to offer, they have a run game. They have a thunder and lightning style run game in Tennessee, a lot like what Cam had in Miami. As long as they do the right things in free agency, get a few weapons, I think all signs should point to Cam Ward. But Tennessee is going to do something crazy and either go Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. I feel it. If I had to pin it down, if you had to pin me down, I say Travis Hunter.
For me, I was all in on Travis Hunter until they decided they were getting rid of Landry. Right now, I'm kind of leaning Abdul Carter. So for just the exercise we're doing, right, I'm going to take Abdul Carter, but up until that Landry move, Mace, 1,000%, I was in place with you. Travis Hunter was coming home, right? And they were going to figure out the quarterback situation next year. I'll be honest, I don't think they're in love with any of the quarterbacks in this draft, which is weird because I do think Cam Ward is actually going to be good. So I think it's a little strange that they're not willing to do it, but I think that is them strictly being gun shy based off of we didn't swung on the quarterback two drafts in a row, baby. We got to use that pick for something else at this point. Okay. So I would say Abdul Carter here. I think that's the best move to make. No, the best move, I'm in line with Dave here. You should take Cam Ward, even if you ain't going to play him this year because you're like, our offensive line going to be trash. We don't want to get you killed, right? So we're not even going to play you, fam. Will Levis, you got to go out here and eat some more sacks, baby. Good luck to you, okay? But I think they're not going to be smart enough to do that, and I think they do go Abdul Carter here. Just regardless, I will say this, regardless of who they pick, the first 2-3 years of your career is about to be a wasteland.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. It's going to be rough out there. So
really,
we'll see.
And really, one of the things I think, too, about the Titans is I look at Brian Callahan. I look at his dad, Bill Callahan. They don't seem like the kind of people that want to deal with rookie quarterbacks. I mean, they look like, Bill Callahan is going to have a career in football off of working with veteran quarterbacks until he is 75 years old. That's his mantra.
They're going to be the ones that's going to trick themselves into Kirk Cousins. They're going to do
it. I think, and we'll probably talk about him in a little bit, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they decide they want to see what, kick the tires on Sam Darnold. I think that, everyone already now assumes he's going to Seattle, but Tennessee could absolutely do that. They put a lot of money into the receivers last offseason. So they feel like they have some weapons there. They need a tight end. They need a running back really bad. They need an offensive line. But if they think, well, a veteran can come in here and get the most out of that group, Brian Callahan might feel like he's coaching for his job already because that was a really, really rough season last year. So I could see them kicking the tires on a few of those veterans. I don't think they'll be in play for Aaron Rodgers, but Darnold, Cousins, anybody who's got a pulse that could play quarterback, man.
They're bringing in Gardner Minshew, bruh.
Oh, stop it.
I'd take him over Will Levis.
I would. I'd take him over Levis.
I probably would too, because I do know that if you protect Gardner Minshew, you're going to win more games than you lose. Will Levis, I got real questions about that, because
he's trash, man. We could just say it. He's awful. He's not an NFL quarterback. He might be a backup in the UFL, man. He is awful.
He's not good. I will say that much. He is not good. Not good at all. But that being said, speaking of another not good quarterback situation here, gentlemen, the Cleveland Browns will be on the clock at number 2. Got to ask Dave. Look, I don't think we need to explain too much of their situation. Everybody knows what it is. They got Deshaun Watson's contract on the books. Myles Garrett say, I want out. That simple. What are they going to do with this pick?
Oh man, this is a tough one. This is a really tough one, because there are a lot of options for the Browns, because they have nothing, man. They need so much help. But I do think that if Abdul Carter goes number 1, I think they go Cam Ward. If Cam Ward goes number 1 and they're sitting there at 2, I do think they'll take Shedeur Sanders and try to go for that. You got to try to bring some good graces back to Cleveland. And Shedeur Sanders is the big name. He's the fancy prize on the block there, man. I mean, I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to be good myself, but I think they talk themselves and they say we need to give some excitement to our fans here in Cleveland, because the dog pound they're barking, man. They're ready for something. So I could definitely see them going there. It's really the hinge spot of the draft, though. What the Browns do will decide a lot of other things that are coming soon after. But they need a quarterback, man. They can't roll into next year with Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston anymore, man.
Oh, you don't want to eat no W's, Dave?
I'm not eating not one W, not there.
All right, Mace, who do you got the Browns taking here?
I'm going to say something really crazy here. And I'm going to say that if Cam Ward is already gone, I think Cleveland's going to take Genty right here, because Chubb is off the board. Chubb's a free agent. They've got no run game. I don't think Shedeur is going to go to Cleveland. I think if at number 2 Cleveland picks Shedeur, he's going to force himself out of Cleveland with the trade, just the same way Eli did with the Chargers. So if I know we're not supposed to pick running backs that high, bro, but if Cleveland's forced into this pick and Cam Ward is gone, I definitely think they would go running back right here, because I'm pretty sure they know that Shedeur, while he may say in those interviews and stuff, oh, I'd go anywhere, but I'm pretty sure he ain't going to Cleveland. I'm pretty sure Coach Prime ain't having his son go to a complete cesspool of a franchise in Cleveland.
Yeah. Hey, Jerome, I've seen your reaction. Can I say first, I love that pick, man. I think Genty is incredible. I think he's so good that you're getting an all-pro at number 2, and the Browns aren't good enough to draft based on need. They're really not. They need so many pieces. So if you can get an all-pro at one position, go out and get it, man. I love that pick, Mason. I wouldn't be mad if I was a Browns fan and took Genty at 2.
Look, man. See, I have to be careful with how I say this. People gonna feel like I'm hating on Genty, but I'm not. I think the dude's gonna be good, but I don't think he's gonna be great at the NFL level.
So you know what sold me on it is his bowl game versus Penn State, right? Because that team was completely outmatched, and he was turning 3-yard losses into 5-6 yard gains consistently.
for sure.
So that right there tells me that if he gets to the line of scrimmage or the second level, he's making it to the third level. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, but my worry is I don't know how much his body's going to be able to withstand this NFL pounding, because it's all good when you're doing this, right? In just a bowl game against.
But I mean, he's not a little
State.
guy, though. I mean, he's short in stature, but he's like 215. He's not a little guy. He's not a little guy at running back.
But I get it. He's 215, but like, nigga, you talking about these linemen are like 320, bro, when he coming up the middle. These niggas are massive. Like,
but that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I feel if he doesn't get touched at the line of scrimmage, bro, I feel good about Genty in any situation.
Yeah, well, in Cleveland, he gonna get touched at the line of scrimmage, so I don't know about that, brother. But to the point. Look, Cleveland should, if Cam Ward is here, they should be taking him, right? They should be, but I don't think that they on the Do Right program right now. I don't. So that being the case, I think they're gonna go Travis Hunter just because Travis Hunter is a safe pick, and we about to watch another generational talent have to waste away in Cleveland for 7-8 years while he ball out, and that team around him is just not what it should be.
So where does he play in the secondary in Cleveland?
I don't think he's playing in the secondary.
Because he's not moving Ward.
I think he's playing wide receiver.
Newsome or Emerson out of their spots.
I think he's playing wide receiver. He's not playing cornerback for them. He's playing wide receiver.
I don't think you take Travis Hunter at number 2 to play receiver.
No, he's not a number 2 overall receiver. I mean, he's good, but he's not that level.
I mean, we can say that, but that man just won the Blitnikoff and he won the Heisman. So that's a real easy thing to say. But when you actually look at his receiving numbers, the nigga has the argument for being the best receiver in college football this year too. So,
I'm ready to name 3 off top of my head better than him at receiver. But I mean, that
may be how you feel. That may be how you feel, but 96 catches for 1,258 and 15 tuds says quite a lot to me.
I mean, the usage, the way he was, I mean, his production on both sides of the ball says he should be picked that high. But if you're picking him at number 2 specifically to play receiver, I think you're selling yourself short on his talent.
Yeah.
Like I said, Cleveland, in my opinion, he doesn't move anybody out of that secondary in Cleveland. And I don't think he moves the needle by himself in the receiver room in Cleveland.
I agree.
I mean, I think he's better than anybody they have currently on the roster.
At receiver, sure.
Yes.
But him by himself as truly a receiver.
Hey, look, man. I'm just telling you. They're going to need something to move the needle a little bit. And a Heisman winner sure will do it.
Travis Hunter, in my opinion, like I said, that's why I was like number 1 to Tennessee. He's playing day 1. He's at minimum on third downs. Every third down, he's on the field at cornerback, and he's playing at least 80% of the offensive snaps. Day 1, off top.
Hey, they better figure out a way to make it work in Cleveland.
Because he's not moving any of them boys out of their spots at cornerback, in my opinion, in Cleveland.
The only spot they have. It's the only spot they're like good and deep at.
Yeah, that's the strongest position on that field. If you
Hey, nigga, sometimes teams do weird stuff, bro. It's the Browns. Y'all got to remember, we still talking about the Browns. We're not talking about a do-right organization. This is still the Browns, gentlemen. Okay, like
I didn't think about that. You're right.
These were the ones that said it was a great idea to give Uncle Creepy all that money.
Guaranteed. Remember that. Talk about messing up the economy, boy. That contract messed up the economy.
Hey, Deshaun Watson, he messed it up so bad that teams was like, nigga, we ain't willing to trade for a 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. Nigga, they was like, nope, we not doing it. It's so wild. Oh, that being said, though, Next on the clock here, boys. This is another not do right franchise. Okay, this is another team that shout outs to our boy Giuseppe, but the Giants are back on the clock, picking in the top 5 again. Okay, Dave, who you got these boys taking?
Yeah, so see, my problem in my head right now is I'm doing 2 separate mock drafts. So let me kind of bring them together. Let's say that the Titans go Abdul Carter and the Browns go Cam Ward, which I said if Cam Ward's gone, they'd go Shador. But so let's say that I got them so far. I've got Carter, and then I've got Cam Ward. I have the Giants then taking Travis Hunter. He fills 2 huge needs for their team, but they also have a superstar receiver already in Malik Neighbors, so they don't need him to play 100% of the offensive snaps. So you could have him play cornerback, have him play 40%, 50, 60% snaps on offense his rookie year, learn the offense, and he fills 2. I mean, the Giants secondary is about as bad as you could possibly get. So he steps in right away and completely changes that defense to me. So I think they would go Travis Hunter in this case.
Okay. Mace, who you got him going here?
So, like I said, I'm trying to stay in track with what I've been doing. So if I have Travis Hunter 1, Genty 2, I definitely think this is where we see our first quarterback come off the board. And in my opinion, Giants are going to go Shador.
That's so
big
giant.
Big name in a big market. Big name in a big market, bro. I mean, what bigger headline is Shador in New York?
The only possibly bigger headline is New York passing on Shador.
So again, this is another not do right franchise. And I just feel like these boys is really about to draft Ashton Genty because the old owner is the owner is going to be so hurt from losing Saquon that this has to be his. We got to make this right. We got to make this right. Ashton Genty, come on down, buddy. You about to be a New York Giant. You about to go to the wasteland, brother.
So in your opinion, would that make the Giants in play for Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold?
Kirk, listen. If I'm being real with you, neither of them. Because they go out to try and swing back around, and if they need to, come back late in the first and get exactly who Giuseppe's been saying in Jackson Dart. I'm telling you. Look, Giuseppe has me sold on that. They are really about to do this again. Instead of drafting the dude they should, they about to say, well, he kind of looks like Eli, right? They're about to do this again.
He does kind of look like him, doesn't he?
You know they can't get right. You know they can't.
I feel you, but I don't know, man. I don't think, honestly, if you want my personal opinion, if I'm Brian Daboll and them boys pass up on Shador or Cam Ward for that matter at quarterback at number 3, and they're both sitting there, I'm asking for a resignation. I want out of there.
If you're going to be honest, I think the GM probably wants to go quarterback, but the owner's going to be like, nah, nigga, we going Genty.
If he, like I said, if they pass up on a quarterback at number 3, if I'm Daboll, I promise you, bro, I want out. I want out. Don't even talk about a contract extension with me, dog. Like let me out of this. Because I left Josh Allen to come here, and you boys is going to give me Daniel Jones and the gang, Kirk Cousins and the boys. Nah, bro. If both of them are on the board and they go anything other than Giants, bro, I promise you, bro, I'm going to shed a tear for Daboll one time, just one tear. Just
no, because they're gonna go get him Jackson Dart. I'm telling you, baby, just watch it. Don't believe me, just watch. Oh no! Look for all the Giant fans. Please understand, for y'all's sake, I hope that's not what they do. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong, but it's just my gut's telling me. After watching that Hard Knocks last year, Mace, that nigga was hurt. And then he had to watch this nigga Saquon go win a ring. Whoo, boy, he needs something to make him feel good. And Ashton Genty, the fans will be cheering him on with that one. He'll feel real good about himself again until he realizes that they just drafted another sorry-ass quarterback in Jackson Dart. It's going to be excellent. Going to be excellent. All that being said, moving on here to the New England Patriots, who are in probably one of the more interesting positions in the draft, right? At this point, through all of our drafts, right, there's at least one quarterback here for them, whether if you like Shador or Cam Ward, right? Through all of our drafts, we got one guy at least left. Patriots don't need a quarterback. So that being said, Dave, who do you got them going here?
Yeah, so I have them making a mistake here, a guy that I don't really like, but feels very, very Patriots pick to me. Because I think they're going to be sold on having to protect their franchise quarterback. I see them going with Kelvin Banks here. He started sliding, but he had a good combine. I think he's going to look really good at his pro day. He was, All-American tackle. I think he's going to struggle in the NFL, but I think that a lot of, I'm not smarter than the scouts, and the scouts all still think very highly of him. I personally think he's more of a early teens guy than a top 5 pick, but again, I think old school look of Patriots say, hey, I gotta protect my franchise quarterback with a left tackle. They'll talk themselves off Will Campbell as not being a left tackle and go Banks.
Okay. Mace, who do you got the Patriots going here?
This is where I could see the first receiver coming off the board. I really believe everybody has turned Matthew Golden into their draft golden child at receiver right now. I think he really wowed people with his 40 time. I mean, me personally, I didn't think he would be running that fast. Mm-hmm. My comp for him is Stephon Diggs as a receiver. So I think they're going to get another weapon for him, but I could definitely see Dave's point of view and thinking they need to protect him. I really have Matthew Golden here, or I would probably say Will Campbell. I feel like people have Will Campbell a little higher than Kelvin Banks. To me, they're kind of like 1A and 1B. I don't think you can go wrong with either. But yeah, I think they're gonna be like, hey, swing for the fences, get Drake May a receiver, and I think Golden will be the first one off the board.
So I actually agree with you with wide receiver here. I'm just going to go a different wide receiver. And to be honest with you, I think they're going to go Emeka Ibuka. I always struggle saying his name, but I think they're going to go him. I understand some people are going to be a little bit put off by, especially this last year where he got hurt, right? But, dog, that man is a certified dog. Plain out and simple. That like I understand some people kind of forgot about him because of Marvin Harrison Jr., but I sure as heck didn't. That dude is a dog. So I think this is you. I think I'm right on the same page with you. They got to go get him somebody to throw the ball to that can go make a play. And I think Emeka can do this. I think he can be the one that can be the I'm going to make the big plays for the team because they've got a few guys already on the roster that can get it underneath, right? They've got that, but they don't really have anyone that says, hey, dog, I can take this play and turn it into 6. And I think he's got some of that ability in him. We saw it in college there. So I believe that's where they end up going with the pick. The one thing I will say, Dave, I know you brought up Will Campbell here. To be honest with you, I think, and this is going to sound weird to people who don't know that much about the draft, but I think the arm length has really, really scared some guys on him, man.
Yeah.
I think they once they saw those measurements and they were like, ooh, you got short arms.
Yeah.
Some GMs started getting a little scared.
No, I definitely agree. I really think he's going to play guard in the NFL. I don't think any team's going to let him play tackle with those measurements. And I think with his mean streak, I think he fits better on the inside anyways. And I think that's exactly why they're going to talk themselves off of Will Campbell. I think Will Campbell's the best offensive lineman in the draft, but I think you're going to have to move him inside. And I think a lot of teams are going to be scared to use a pick this high on a guy they feel they're going to have to do that. I really fit similar to how Peter Skoronski a few years ago, how, he was one of the best offensive linemen in the nation. Teams at first were thinking he's going to be a, first top 10 pick, and he fell out of the top 10 because the Titans did exactly what everyone knew they had to do and move him right inside. I see a lot of similarities to Will Campbell.
And if we're being real, it worked for him to move him in there. He's shown that was the right decision. So, I'm with you there. I'm with you. All right, moving on here, though. We have got next on the clock a very weird situation. Their whole offseason has been so mismanaged so far that it's hard for me to have any faith in this organization at this point, coming from the very top. That being said, Dave, we know they have at least a quarterback that some people like, some people are kind of they're starting to be out on, right? Who do you got them going here? Because for me, this is a team that has so many issues. It was hard for me to pin down where I was going to go with this pick for them.
Yeah, this is actually where I have Will Campbell going, because I think that Jacksonville really, really needs an interior offensive lineman that badly that they're going to say, we'll bring him in, we'll put him wherever we need to. Liam Cohen knows that you need to have a good offensive line. He had a good offensive line his entire time in Tampa that last year and working with Dave Canellis the years before that. So to me, I see Will Campbell as a really good option. I think he's going to play guard, but the Jaguars need guards and they need a center, and they need 2 tackles too, if we're being honest with ourselves. So, just putting somebody on the offensive line to protect Lawrence and giving him this last chance with a new coach, get a receiver in the 2nd, 3rd round to continue stocking up there alongside Gabe Davis. And, I think you just got to put him in the best position possible. And if Trevor Lawrence can't succeed in this situation, this has got to be about it for him. He's going to have to, we're going to have to realize he's not that level of prospect we thought.
Excuse me, sir. I'm not going to let you do that. The best receiver on that team is Brian Thomas. Gabe Davis is trash. You better get him out of my face. Yeah.
No.
Brian Thomas
is clearly a better receiver. I just named the big money free agent they brought in last year, but they also used a 1st-round pick on him. So I'm Brian Thomas.
They should kept paying money.
I had Brian Thomas as my number 3 receiver in that class last year. You don't got to tell me. I'm in on Brian Thomas. I had him right after I had Neighbors Harrison Thomas last year. So I love Brian Thomas. I was more so saying they're putting money into it as well as the draft pick. So they're not afraid to spend money and get wide receivers down there in Jacksonville. If you get him the offensive line now, there's no more excuse for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. All right, Mace, who do you got the Jags going here?
I've got to echo Dave's sentiment here. I think this is Will Campbell's spot if he doesn't go to New England, the pick before. I really believe because offensively, if you look at their skill positions, that's not where they hurt on the offense. It's obviously that offensive line. I think the new head coach, he's going to want to go all in on helping Trevor Lawrence because he did get that money. Like, he's essentially tied to Trevor Lawrence. So if you look and say, we got a receiver, we've got a running back. They just let Evan Ingram go, but I'm pretty sure they've got some sort of plan for free agency for a tight end because he was really good for them in that offense. So I feel they have to go Will Campbell. They need help along the offensive line all across the board. So whether they kick him inside, move him to right tackle, let him play, it doesn't matter. He needs to be on that team somewhere on that offensive line for sure.
Yeah, I'll make it short and sweet. This is where Will Campbell went for me too, because at the end of the day, when I looked at who I had already taken off my board, right, and then saw Will Campbell sitting there, and I was like, good God almighty, do they need some more bodies to protect Trevor Lawrence? Right there. That's the guy. Again, I'm in agreement with you guys. Think he has to go inside. That arm stuff, it is real, people. I understand it doesn't feel real, right? But it is. Like, there's a reason why they measure certain things for certain positions, because a lot of this stuff is real. Okay, and that having short arms as an offensive lineman, as a tackle, bad idea. That means you have to let guys get into you. You never want to do that as a tackle. That is not when you want to take control of the situation. So we will see how. Again, I don't know if they go do the right thing. I could also see them doing something stupid and drafting another wide receiver just to be like, hey, we'll be all right.
but that's just strictly based off of them being in can't get right organization. Next in line here, though, a team that, based off of their trade for Geno Smith, has become very intriguing with this draft. The Las Vegas Raiders. Dave, we saw, all of us, how their season went last year after they tried to talk themselves into Antonio Pierce, which that was never going to end well. When you gave him Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback, it was never going to end well. So all that being said, who do you got the Raiders taking here?
Yeah, I have them going a little bit off the board. I think a lot of people are going to assume this now means that Ashton Genty's in play for the Raiders because they don't need a quarterback. But I don't think he's available on my board, but I don't think he goes there right now. I have them going kind of continuing the theme they did last year where they really put a lot of money in the defensive line. They want to get after those three quarterbacks in their conference, in their division, I should say. They want to get Herbert. They want to get Mahomes. They want to get Bo Nix. I have them going after another guy on the defensive line. I have them getting Mason Graham here. I think he's a really good talent to fall to 6. I think they're going to need another guy up the middle there to stop the run and get a little pressure on the quarterback up the middle. So Mason Graham makes a lot of sense there for me.
Mace, who you got the Raiders going?
Yeah, I've got to echo that sentiment. They put a lot of money into getting Christian Wilkins there. They just paid. They just gave Max Crosby an extension. For the Raiders to compete in their division, they have to get pressure on the quarterback because essentially they have their quarterback is fighting for the 3rd spot or maybe the 2nd spot as quarterback in that division right now. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely see them taking Mason Graham right here, following that theme of we're going to be good with our front 4. We have to be good with our front 4 to play defense versus Mahomes and Herbert. And now Bo Nix, who kind of just shocked everybody. He shocked me for sure. So
that shit's a mirage, dog. We'll get into that later in the offseason. That is a mirage. We'll talk about it. This is I honestly, I'm shocked by both of you guys' pick here. I don't think they go D-line at all. Nope, because they've already invested so much there. Like you guys said, they got Crosby. They just spent all that money on Wilkins. They've spent other high draft picks in the past couple of years on D-line. Nope. This man has Pete Carroll written all over him. They're going Nick Manawari. He has Pete Carroll all over him, fellas. He gives him the best of both worlds. He gives him the speed like Earl and the hitting ability like Cam. Nigga, this is a Pete Carroll player all over him, brother. All over him. So this one was easy for me. When I saw him out, but after I saw how he ran at the combine, I was like, oh yeah, nigga. Pete if he there, Pete taking him. Pete taking him. Guaranteed. He like, and think about it. Big and fast. That's the Raiders' whole thing, bro. That's what they love is big and fast. Even now, the ghost of Al Davis is like, y'all know who you should draft. You already know who it is.
Yeah, I mean, he makes a lot of sense. I think it's a little too early for him. That's my only thing. If they were picking the mid-teens, I think I'd take him.
Yeah, for me, I feel like he's definitely going to sneak into that top 17. I don't think he's definitely not going to make it into the 20s in the first round. But yeah, this feels a little high for me for him.
I mean, look, you say that, but you better remember, teams be talking themselves into speed all the time, baby. It's hard to turn down size and speed. That's hard.
Fair.
Especially for a dude like Pete Carroll, where you know he needs safeties that can move. And can y'all? Hey, I got a question for y'all. We can name some niggas on their D line. Can y'all name me one nigga in their secondary? Can you name me one?
No, not at all.
Anybody?
No.
That's why I'm going there. That's why I think the pick makes sense because they need somebody, nigga. Because they got nobody. They have for about a 7-year period, they have just missed on corner after corner after corner after corner. They could
which is why I think it kind of scares them on Jahdae Barron, who would probably be the perfect cornerback for them, because not only can he play in the nickel for you, he can play on the outside. He's excellent in pass coverage, in run support. But one thing that Jahdae Barron does, which probably gets him in the top 10 for sure, is his ability to separate the ball from a receiver after the catch.
I can see that. All right, moving on here, we've got the New York Jets on the clock, gentlemen. Who you got the Jets taking? We don't even need to get into it. We know what their season was.
So
Dave, who you got them taking? Well, we might as well keep it consistent. Dave, who you got the Jets taking?
Oh man, I think they're going O-line here. I think that I got them taking Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. I think he's a kind of a mauler offensive lineman. They keep trying to get these offensive linemen. They keep not working, man. So I think that they go after Josh Simmons here to protect whoever is going to be at quarterback. But I don't think they're going quarterback here.
Interesting. Mace, who you got them going?
They sprint to the podium and take Cam Ward right here. They have to. If Cam Ward falls to them, hell, if even Shador falls to them, they have to sprint to the podium. Don't answer no phone calls. Go get your quarterback, and let's move on.
Yeah, this is easy for me. Cam Ward. They're running, like May said.
You know how teams take their whole 10, 15 minutes? No, don't do that, bro.
Nope.
As soon as your pick is up, go get Cam Ward if he's there. Go get Shador if he's there. Don't matter. Go get him.
Yep. Easy one for me. All right. That was easy enough. Moving on here, Carolina Panthers. Mace. This is a team that we were up and down on last year, but by the end of the season, we were feeling a little bit better about where they were, at least with Bryce Young. Dave, I don't fully know how you ended up feeling about Bryce Young by the end of the year, so I will ask you, who do you got them taking here at this point? Because of this, I think you telling me who they take tells me a lot about how they feel about Bryce Young in your mind.
Oh, I mean, listen, I think they're probably higher on Bryce Young than I would be personally. I mean, I think Bryce Young, I think he's all right. But can I kind of say something really quick about Bryce Young? Really quick. Every bit of positive reinforcement they gave him last year from the media and the fan base felt like how you treat a toddler. Felt like, wow, he threw for 150 yards. Good job. I mean, I be hearing from people on Twitter Bryce Young looks like a new quarterback and he'd be throwing for 160 yards. So I'm gonna get off that soapbox. Anyways, I do think they need some help on the edge. I have them going Mykel Williams here. It's kind of a mishmash. That there's a whole bunch of guys on the edge after Abdul Carter that kind of all fit into the next tier, but I have them going with them.
Mace, who you got them going?
This is where I think Jahdae Barron goes, because in my opinion, Carolina is going to address offense in free agency. They probably want to bring in some veteran guys for Bryce Young because they're trading away all the young players at receiver anyways. So why not keep that trend up? You know what I'm saying? They traded away the young receivers on the roster. So, yeah, I feel like Jahdae Barron goes right here because after J.C. Horn, who there have been some reports that they're listening to trades for him, not necessarily that he wants out, but they're listening to kind of augment that roster some. I think Jahdae Barron fits in. Like I said, he can be your nickel guy. He can play on the outside. I think he's easily a top 10 pick, and any team that picks him, probably their secondary just got better, without a doubt.
Man, you are really, really high on Mr. Barron. I think that's one that's kind of catching me a little off guard. I didn't know you were going to be that high on him. But all right, for me, I honest to God, I think they have to go. See, they can go offense or defense here. They have to go probably best player available. And in my mind, at this point, based off of how I've done the board, I think they have to go Mason Graham would make the most sense, but I think they end up going like Will Johnson. I think because I have Will Johnson above Barron on my board,
yeah.
but I think they're good either way though. With Barron or Johnson, I think that is the pick that makes the most sense for their team and how it's currently constructed. Because, like you said, after they're another team, we can name J.C. Horn, and then between the three of us, all of us who play Madden, right? We know NFL rosters. We follow the draft every year. We can't name you nobody else on their roster after J.C. Horn in the secondary. That's a problem. I think they do need to go address that. So I think they go Will Johnson to address that need. Moving on here, I think we have put the Saints now into through all of our boards. We have now put the Saints in a very, very interesting situation. Dave, who do you got the Saints going?
Oh man, I got a few names I'm going to here. I really want to say Shadur Sanders, but I don't think so. I don't think he fits anything about the Saints at all. I don't think he would like being there. I don't think Dion will let him go there. I think I'm going to have them go. I'm going to have them take Jahdae Barron here as a cornerback. It just be the best player available. Again, another team that just needs so much. And I always say, if you're drafting top 10, man, you can't draft best player available. You have to draft best player available. You're not good enough to draft based on need. I kind of flip between him and Will Johnson myself, but I'm gonna go Barron at 9.
Mace, who do you got them going?
For me, bro, I think this is where a team takes a chance on Mike Green out of Marshall. Because the Saints have to get younger on defense. You can't name a player on their defense under the age of 30 outside of Brian Breeze? And that's only because he was like that was only because of his tape in Clemson, not because of his tape in the NFL.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that's a very fair point. Very fair. I'm with you guys here. This is where I actually have Barron going. What made sense to me in my mind, they moved Lattimore on, right? They're another team where you're looking at their secondary and you're like, who you got playing for you? Who is going to cover anyone? Okay. And they don't have someone, and that would be a guy I think could quickly fill in. And as Mace said, can play multiple spots for you, can play in the slot, can drop into the safety spot if he needs to. He can go on the outside. He can do a lot of things for you that would make him a valuable piece to have. So I believe that's where the Saints end up going here. Now, coming up next on the board is me and Dave's favorite team, Chicago Bears. Dave, we know where this team is at right now. I mean, we've talked ad nauseum almost on the show about the season that the Bears have had. We talked a lot about it over the course of the year. Who do you got them going with?
My board has Ashton Genty available, and I haven't taken him here. I think that they're going to sell themselves on getting the best running back. I know, man. Listen, if I was Ryan Poles, what I would do right here is I would draft Armand Membu as my replacement for Braxton Jones. But I think that Ashton Genty is there. Ryan Poles loves himself a swag pick. You know that. Man, a guy who drafts a punter in the 4th round says he's feeling himself. You know, he made those trades for those interior linemen and said, now I'm going to get my running back. We're going to be so cool. I got him going here.
Mace, who you got the Bears taking here?
This is where I think Kelvin Banks comes off the board at. I know that everybody has like the concerns over the arm length, but to me, his tape, he anchors very well as a left tackle. He didn't get beat to the inside often, or if ever, in the UT games that I've watched, almost all of them. So I think having a guy, like I said, I think he has the best anchor as a left tackle, and I believe that you will get some very good years out of him as a left tackle, regardless of the arm length. I personally think he's the better pure left tackle between him and Campbell. But I think, like I said, Campbell's probably the better overall offensive lineman because he will be able to go into the inside and be successful. But I see Kelvin Banks right here at number 10 as like the obvious pick.
Not mad at that. So for me, I think you have to go with a young offensive lineman, but I am actually going to go away from Mr. Banks. I'm actually going to go with Simmons from Ohio State. And the reason why I say that is I think if Simmons is healthy this year, I think he is a guaranteed somebody's taking him top 10, some like early in top 10. I think the injuries are going to scare some people, but the Bears are in a I think it would be a perfect situation for a guy like Simmons. He doesn't have to come in and be the starter right away. I know people have their issues with Braxton Jones, but he's good enough to make it work for you. He's not going to ever be a top-end tackle, right? But he's not ever going to be so bad that you cannot put this guy out there and have any success, right? I think with that being the case, you can draft a guy like Simmons. You can say, hey, we don't need to hurry up and bring you back on the field so you can get back to being 100% fully healthy, and then we can get you out there, right? You can start easy with just doing we already know Ben Johnson likes to do some extra tackle formations. You can start easy with stuff like that and keep building it up. And as we all know, with the offensive line at some point, right, your backups are probably going to have to play for you. This is the guy that can then come in and plug and play for you, I think, at both tackle and guard and have success at both. So I think the Bears go Simmons here. I know some people are going to be scared because of the injury history, but the thing that scares me the most about Banks and Campbell, that arm length scares the hell out of me, fellas. It scares me so much, dog, because it's like, man, you guys are good, but what's going to happen when dude hits you with the long arm? What you going to do? It really worries me. So I think that's where the Bears end up going here. I will say I could also see them going at this point based off of my board and how things have shaken out. Michael Williams, could also see them going there. But I think Poles is smart enough to realize, Dave, that after people was on his ass for how bad the offensive line was the past 2 years, he like, hey, I got to fix this. That will get me fired. I can do everything else right, but that's going to get me fired if I don't fix it.
I'm with you, but I also I keep hearing they want to give Drew Dalman a huge contract. If they get 3 new interior offensive linemen, they know they have their right tackle figured. They might not want to get another offensive lineman in the first round. They're going to need depth, but I do think they're going to go after the center pretty big.
If we're being honest, I mean, one guy that we brought in is really a 1-year fix at best. Because look, Thune's great still. But Father Time is undefeated, and eventually Father Time gonna get him too, right? So we might get that last squeeze juice out of him this year. I don't want to see us paying an old dude like that a whole bunch of money. So you need to go an offensive lineman here, so you can already just say we kicking you right in. No, even if it's hey, we kicking you to tackle, right? And we kicking Braxton Jones inside because we still got his money on the books, right? We need to be able to seamlessly move the next guy in. We ain't got time to be waiting. I'm not doing another season of watching Caleb run for his life because the interior of our line can't block a damn soul. Moving on here, though. This is where my draft board got real spicy. I don't want to ruin my pick, so I'm gonna make sure you guys go first. But this is where things got real spicy, and y'all go probably lose it when I tell you who they're picking here. But Dave, San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. They haven't picked this high in a while, right? It's been an unfortunate situation for them. They had a lot of injuries last year. We also saw they moved on from Deebo Samuel during this offseason. All that being said, who you got them taking?
I have them going with Jalen Walker to go across from Nick Bosa. I think that puts them in a really good spot to keep you in after the quarterback and dominating the trenches like they have when they're in their best seasons.
Mace, who you got them taking?
Here I have Armand Mimbu right here. because Trent Williams, he can't keep this up at his age, bro. Like it's something he's going to be caught slipping. And then also right tackle for them was horrendous. This gives you an immediate right tackle who's eventually going to take over at left tackle. Covers your immediate need and also your future needs.
I'm not mad at that. So this is where it's about to get spicy on my board, gentlemen. They're going to take Shedeur Sanders. They're going to do it.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, Jerome.
And the reason I say this is when you watch Shedeur's tape, he doesn't have the plus arm talent, right, that you're necessarily looking for. He's got more so he more so leans towards the Kirk Cousins style where he's got enough, right? And he got to throw it on time. But I think they're going to talk themselves into their athleticism and say, we can protect him way better than he was ever protected in college. And look, for all the faults that Shedeur has, look, man, I didn't see that dude make some hella crazy throws with a man right in his lap. So, and that's something that you need to do at a consistent level. I don't think that they have talked themselves into wanting to pay Brock Purdy. And they
you know what they offered him, like what they came to the table offering him, right?
Not enough.
45. They offered this man off top 45.
That's not enough. He want top quarterback money, brother. He said it's his turn to get paid. I'm getting top QB money. So I think they're good with this. This would reset the quarterback clock for them, right? This is going to give them automatically another 5 years to figure that situation out. I think they go Shedeur here, man, because I don't think Kyle Shanahan can let a guy like Shedeur pass him up again when you have look, people, I'm not saying Brock Purdy's bad, but the thing that me and Mace told y'all about him came very, very true in the playoffs for them, which is if you get some pressure on that nigga and he got to move them little bitty feet, gets a little bit sticky for him. And I remember one of our homies, Mace, when I texted him asking him about that, he was like, oh, I ain't worried about him having to throw off platform. And what ended up biting him in the ass? That man had to throw off platform, and it was trouble. You can have the greatest scheme in the world now, gentlemen. You can get every person open all season long, but in that bowl, it's going to come back and get you every time. Every time. So, yeah, I think Shedeur Sanders ends up in San Francisco, and I know Dion would absolutely love that. But moving on here, Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Might as well let our resident Cowboys fan go first here.
Absolutely.
Since this is his squad, Mace, we know how the season went. I ain't going to pick at you no more about it. We know what it was, right? Who you got the Cowboys taking?
This one, like I said, like we've said, there's about three players that I think like Dallas should take here. And then I have like a 3 they could take but we're gonna save that for another time. So honestly, it has to be a receiver here. And I think with the way the combine shook, if Matthew Golden were to fall, I think he goes there. But with me having him gone already, I say this would have to be where Ted McMillan comes off the board. Dallas has to know, like they have to know that they have to have a second threat outside of CeeDee Lamb at receiver. Like they have to know that all these second, third, fourth round receivers, fifth round receivers they've drafted over the years ain't it. They have to know that them boys ain't it. At best, those guys are 30, 40 reception guys. At best. They might get you, they might come up with some clutch catches here and there because everybody else is being double teamed, but they have to know that they go after Ted McMillan right here. Or Luther Burden. Luther Burden, in my opinion, he's like he's a clone of CeeDee Lamb, in my opinion, Luther Burden. But You can't teach 6'4". You can't teach 6'5", however tall Tet is, bro. You can't
6'5".
teach that. You can't teach 6'5", dog. For me, Tet is like if Mike Williams knew how to run routes, he'd be Tet McMillan.
Hey, Dave, every time he say that, all I can think of, and you can't teach that.
So that's my hope pick for them. But who I think they're gonna go is probably Omarion Hampton right here. If you look at the way Dallas, all the how they've talked about the offense this entire season, they've talked about being way more physical up front, wanting to attack people on offense. The best way to attack and display your physicality is in the run game, and what better way than to put Nick Chubb plus fucking knee tendons in the backfield. So I think it's going to be Omarion Hampton, but I'm hoping for Tet.
Dave, who do you got the Cowboys taking?
Yeah, receiver would be a really good pick. I'm not really sold on any of the receivers, and I think the Cowboys are going to make one decent sign. I think they're going to sign a receiver, one of the big name receivers this offseason, and convince themselves that's going to fix it. I have them getting Shamar Stewart right here. Jerry Jones, his SEC guys go across from Micah Parsons, super athletic guy. I think that he's going to fall in love with the combine, and that's kind of where I would go with the Cowboys here, is getting a guy across from Micah who might be able to get to the quarterback, or to replace Micah if they can't get an extension.
Yeah. So for me, this was a fairly easy one. They got to go Tet here. They have to. If they do not go Tet, they have to take either Graham or a Grant that is there waiting for him. Get somebody on the inside that can stop some run, get you some pass rush, because Jesus Christ, outside of Mozzie Smith, I don't know any player on their defense on the inside that I would look at and say, yeah, you might have a chance stopping the run. Like I just don't. That roster is bereft of talent that can be consistently there to stop the run, and they need that badly. So if Tet is there, they have to go him, because as May said, you need another receiver to be across from CD that you can actually count on to make a play down the field. But if not, you got to go Grant or Graham. That is whoever's sitting there for you, because you need some help on the inside, for God's sake. Like, I know, Mace, that's one thing that's been infuriating you, especially last season, was the lack of any type of D tackle that could play the run worth a damn. I know it was driving you nuts.
I do have an honorable mention here, and I'll be real quick. I say Will Johnson, just because the reports are Diggs will probably be out for the entire season after the last knee surgery that he just had at the end of the offseason.
I didn't expect him to end up missing this whole year, too. That's tough. That's tough. Okay, moving on here, though. Next in line, we have got the Miami Dolphins. This is another team that I think this is one team I think their record is masking how many issues they actually have. So, Dave, who do you got the Dolphins going here?
I have them going with Jihad Campbell here, taking the first linebacker. I think it's a bit of a reach. I think it's quite a big reach, actually. But linebacker is a very, 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 very serious need for Miami. So he does fill the biggest need by far on their team. I think they think they're good enough to draft based on need to fill out their roster in the first round.
Mace, who do you got them going?
I have Grant out of Michigan right here.
Good pick.
I definitely think they're going to go defense, because they probably feel like their offense is just a healthy season away from being right. So, definitely the help. They need defense for sure. So I'd go Grant here in the middle.
For me, I'm in line with Dave here. I think this is where Campbell comes off the board. It's just such a glaring need for them, and Campbell is still a good player. And their front, I think, is good enough to protect him in the ways that he needs to be protected at the linebacker position to shine a little bit. So, easy pick for me. This is Campbell all day. All right, moving on. we have got Indianapolis Colts on the clock. Another team with a lot of needs here. Dave, who you got them going?
I have them taking Tyler Warren here. I think they still want to give Anthony Richardson another shot for whatever reason, man. I don't care for him at all. But Tyler Warren, I mean, I really like Tyler Warren. I don't think he's as good of a prospect as Brock Bowers, but I think he's kind of in the same Brock Bowers light. He does everything, runs good routes, catches the ball, has speed, can block. I mean, some of the catches he made at Penn State were incredible. So I think he's going to be successful wherever he goes. And falling to 14 would be a good pickup, I think, for the Colts.
Mace, who you got?
Yeah, so the reports I were reading today is that the Colts have been on the phone with teams about Anthony Richardson, but nobody's interested. I mean, obviously, with the injury history, I'm not shocked at all. So, I've got to echo Dave here, man. Tyler, this seems like the perfect spot for Tyler Warren. We always say the best friend of a quarterback is a tight end, so why not go get him the most athletic one in the draft?
Hey, we got a trifecta here, gentlemen. I don't need to say nothing else. You guys covered it all. This is a trifecta. You got to do something because Jesus, they didn't have much of nobody to throw it to, and this guy. We'll see what Richardson is. I'm not so sold on him. Moving forward there, we've got the Atlanta Falcons on the clock. Dave, who you got them taking?
I'm going with Kenneth Grant here. I know he just went to the Cowboys in one of your drafts, but I think he's I really for a lot of their careers he was as good as Mason Graham. They're just different players, so they do different things. But I think he'd really complement the defense they're building in Atlanta. They've put a lot of resources into it, and I think he really helps exemplify some of them.
Mace, who you got here?
I have Jalen Walker falling to them. And this is another team where you do cartwheels to the podium if he's there, because that's really like the last piece of their defense is to get somebody in that front four to get consistent pressure. So if he's there, go run as fast as you can, Atlanta. Go get this guy.
I like it. For me, this is going to seem a little controversial. I think I'm going to go with Tyler Booker for them, man. They're going to need to start getting some young bodies on that offensive line. And I think their tackle play it's not great, but it's good enough to get them through another year, right, where they might be able to invest more towards the tackle position, like maybe trade up to get a better tackle in the draft next year, right? So they got to do something. I really like Tyler Booker as a player. I think he's actually very good. It's hard to justify spending a higher than this pick on a guard for me when I'm doing a mock draft. It's hard. You have to be such a stud that it's hard for me to do that. It's one thing if you're a tackle and we got to move you down, right? But we know you're going to be a stud because we seen you be a stud in college, but it's those physical things, so we got to move you down. But it's one thing you're just a guard coming out. But I think this is where they go. They need to protect that quarterback, and they need to give Bijan an actual offensive lineman to run behind. So it'd be nice.
That'd be a good pick.
Arizona Cardinals on the clock here. Dave, who do you got them going?
Yeah, they got their left tackle in Paris Johnson. I got them taking their right tackle here in Armand Membo.
I think that would be brilliant. Mace, who do you got them taking?
I have them getting another running mate here at receiver. So I have Emeka Ibuka right here.
That was the other guy I was thinking. Great pick.
Yeah. So Dave, I'm right here with you. They need to get that other side, secure it up. So now you got bookends, baby. It ain't that hard. It ain't rocket science, right? You went tackle last year, go tackle again because you already got your damn quarterback. So figure it out from there. Very, very simple one for me. This is one that I actually didn't have to put a lot of thought into, just because it's like, your need is clear. Protect Kyler, because if you don't protect him, it's a bad day. Yeah.
And I just want to say really quick before we get to Cincinnati, man, I really like what Jonathan Gannon is doing out there. I think that he kind of got a lot of flack for his being a little quirky when he came in there, but I like what he's building out there, man. Arizona's I don't think they're on the track to be a 15-2 contender, but I think there'd be a consistent thorn in the side in the NFC West for quite a while.
Speaking of your Bengals, who you got, Dave?
Yeah, man, I'm going Mike Green here. They need someone to get to the quarterback. They're going to let Trey Hendrickson go, I'm sure, at some point here. So they'll make a trade. And Mike Green kind of fits there. They like going those small school guys, and especially in the interior. So I'm going to take him there.
Mace, who you got him taking?
Same position, different player. I have Michael Williams right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really good fit.
I mean, I could see that for sure. So here's where my draft gets a little messy again. Honestly, I think this is where your boy from Texas goes, Maze. This is where Bolden ends up going, and they get a Golden, and they're sending a clear message to T. Higgins and saying, enjoy your last year here, my brother. Enjoy it. Hey, Joe, enjoy his last year here because this is it. We're going to re-sign Jamar. T is out the door. Enjoy your last year with him, player, because here's your new guy.
Interesting pick.
Yeah, because they're not going to pay T. Higgins. They're not going to do it. They're not going to give him the contract he wants. That's dead. And they know to keep Joe Burrow happy, got to give him another target. So just makes too much sense for me. And they own her so damn cheap. So we know what's happening there.
You ain't wrong on that one, man.
He's so cheap. We got the Seahawks on the clock here. Mace, we saw what happened last season with them. We talked about it. I think people were really hating on Geno. All that being said, Dave, who do you got them taking in this first pick in their first round of the future, really? Because no more Geno.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a really good spot if they don't get Sam Darnold to get a quarterback. I still only have one quarterback off my board. But I think unless they might be planning on running the option offense for the foreseeable future because they have no interest in a quarterback, no interest in wide receiver. But if they do want to get a receiver, this would be a good spot to get one. I would go with Matthew Golden here. I think him and JSN will both spread out that defense enough to really open some things up.
Oh, you think they're going to send DK out? You think they're going to actually trade him?
I do think so.
Mace, who do you got them taking here?
I have them going defense, and I have them going James Pierce Jr. right here.
Good pick.
His combine definitely bumped him into that top 20, top 25 discussion. And Seattle obviously doesn't care about what's going on offense. So get another defensive player, bro.
Yeah, for me, this is one where they're running to the board. I was going with James Pierce Jr. myself. He fell right into their lap based off of just what other teams needed at the time, right? This is a guy that fits right into how McDaniels likes to coach. I think it's going to be an excellent situation for them. And they'll be celebrating this. Everybody's going to be in there clapping hands, patting each other on the back. I think it'll be a good day for them. Excuse me. But on the clock next, Tampa Bay Bucks. Dave, who you got them taking?
I'm going back-to-back receivers. I think they get their Mike Evans replaced in. This is where Ted McMillan goes. He fits in really well there. He can learn from Mike Evans for a year and then take over his kind of red zone threat specific receiver spot. Which is his best game. So I've got them expanding on that Mike Evans and bringing in his replacement.
Mace, who you got him taking here?
For me, this is one of the teams that I think would be a really good fit for Jihad Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to sit behind Kalaji Kancey and Vita Vea, because I mean they're getting older at linebacker, like for sure. They let Devin White walk because he's not the guy that they really thought he was going to be. They need a second linebacker at that second level, and I think he would thrive having a player to being able to be behind Vita Vea and not get touched.
I can see that. So for me, I'm going Jalen Walker here. I think this is actually where he ends up going, and it's kind of a surprise pick, but I think he plugs right in for Shaq Barrett and the loss that they're going to have there because that guy, He's old now, but that was a lot of production for a lot of years coming from him. Solid every year. So I think they're going to try and, hit some magic again with that and get another guy out there to continue to play a solid end for them for years to come. So that's where my money goes with Jalen Walker here. Next in line, we have got Baby James's team. Shout out to Baby James. Denver Broncos on the clock. Dave, who you got them going here?
This is you picked him quite a while ago, but I got Nick Emanwari going here after that great combine. Really big need for safety. They have not even attempted to replace Justin Simmons, it feels like, but they can right here with a very young, very athletic, talented safety, and I think he'd really turn that defense, take it up to another level.
Mace, who you got him going?
I think Sean Payton is a little too arrogant to go with who I think they should pick, which is Colston Loveland right here. Mm-hmm. But I think they will definitely look at that defense, and if Will Johnson is there, I think they say they're just going to play shutdown defense at the cornerback position.
Ooh.
And go Will Johnson.
So my train of thought is the same as yours, Mace. I'm just going a different player. I think they're going to go Siobhan Ravel. I think they're going to look at that, say 6'2", 188, fast as hell. Now we got two dog corners that can, for the most part, play some pretty tough press coverage and man defense. Hey, we're going to make it right. We're going to be playing a lot of zero. That's all I know. A whole lot of zero. But, yeah, I think that's where they go. I think it just makes too much sense for me. Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock. Dave, who do you got them taking here?
Yeah,
and hopefully by this time we know who their quarterback is.
Well, we'll see. This is where I have Will Johnson going as the next pick. I think that they have definite need at corner. He's a guy who's just kind of been falling, but man, I mean, his 2023 season, he was a special cornerback. Him and Mikey Sanders still were phenomenal 1-2 punch for that Michigan defense that won the championship. Will Johnson was a top 5 pick for a while, kept falling. Some questions after this past season, but I would take him here if I was if I was Pittsburgh.
Mace, who do you got Pittsburgh taking here?
So if there are no receivers on the board for them, I think they have to go Colston Loveland, but in my the way my draft falls out, they're still Luther Burden. So I think they go offense. They go take Luther Burden right here.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at either of those picks. The Pittsburgh is so weird for me because you can never really tell what they want to do. Even when they should do something, they'll throw you something else where they still draft a really good player, but it'll be a nigga they didn't need. Like they did when they went and got Minka from the Dolphins. It was like, nigga, y'all traded for a really great player, but nigga, y'all need a quarterback. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. So, for me, I think this is when Green finally comes off the board. They love guys coming off the end, and I think they probably feel they could pair him with Watt and have bookends there for at least the next 2-3 seasons, right? So I think this is where Mike Green ends up going out of Marshall. He just looks like a Pittsburgh Steelers player to me. Nigga. I don't know. I don't know when y'all watch the skill. Yeah, he looks like it. He just looks like AFC North ready to come knock your neck loose type of player. He look like that guy. But all right, moving next here, we have got the Los Angeles Chargers. Dave, who you got them taking?
This is where they need receivers bad. I got Emeka Egbuka going here to them. He kind of, I don't know, he just screams Charger to me for some reason. I got no rhyme or reason behind that. He just does. So I'm going with that Egbuka.
Mace, who you got him taking?
Oh man. Like I said, I think the Pittsburgh pick and this pick are kind of flip-flopping. If Pittsburgh goes Luther Burden, I think the Chargers will go Loveland right here. Or if Pittsburgh goes Loveland, I think the Chargers will go Luther Burden. Either way go, they need to get a pass catcher for Herbert. So if Loveland's on the board, I think they have to go get Loveland.
Jim Harbaugh's running to the board. It's Colston Loveland. It's not even a question. If he's there, right into the board. It's over. I don't even need to say nothing else. Green Bay Packers on the clock. Mace, all I'm going to say is F the Packers for us. So I'll let you pick first because me and Dave both hate this team. So who you got them going here?
This right here is where I have your boy, Nick Imawari, going.
Oh, I hope not.
Oh, him and McKinney would be incredible together.
This is where I have him because I think in the nickel situation, he can come down and play in the box, right? And their secondary is not bad at the safety spot. So being able to add like that star player that can play in the box and in a big nickel situation or behind the defensive line and like your third and longs, while you still have two solid safeties behind him, I think this is just like an extra piece. But he's the best player on the board right now, and I think Green Bay definitely at this point, I think they're able to go best player in the 20s. And still feel confident about their team.
Dave, who you got them taking?
I'm going Walter Nolan here. It just feels like a Packer pick, random big SEC lineman. So yeah, I'm going to go Walter Nolan.
For me, I went Malachi Starks here. I felt like they're going to try and get their secondary young, and Starks is a heck of a player. So I could easily see them making that pick. Moving forward here, though, we've got the Minnesota Vikings on the clock. Dave, who you got them taking?
I'm going with Omari and Hampton here to be Aaron Jones' replacement in Minnesota. They want their running game to help J.J. McCarthy, and he's a good back. So that's my I think it's the number 2 running back off the board.
Mace, who you got them going with here?
This is where I think Shamar Stewart comes off the board.
Yeah.
To pair him on the other side of Dallas Turner, they get really young in the on that defensive line there. I think that would be an excellent pick for them.
I like that. For me, I know one of you guys put him up here earlier, but this is where I actually think Marion Hampton is going. I think Kevin O'Connell says, hey, we were missing just a little bit of something out of that explosiveness in our run game last year. We're getting it now, and this is a guy that can play 3 downs for us. So that's my logic to the Vikings pick. I think they continue to invest on that offense because they went heavily defense in last year's draft, especially with their early picks. Houston Texans on the clock with a team that I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about as we go on in this offseason because they most definitely regressed last year. So, Dave, who you got them taking?
Yeah, I feel like Tyler Booker's a good fit for them here. They need to get the interior of their line shored up, and they like going SEC guys on the offensive line. So he fits in nice for me there.
Mace, who you got the Texans taking?
Same position, different player. I have actually a probably a lesser known prospect that could slide into the end of the first round here with Gray Zabel. Inside offensive line.
I had Gray Zabel there, and I just changed it to Booker.
I got it because Booker's been sliding, and I think Houston wants a guy that looks like they're gearing up to be better.
Okay, I can see that. Okay, for me here, I actually went Jordan Birch. I think that the Texans realized last year that hey, man, we need to get a little bit better up front on defense because they weren't that great last year. And I think that secondary is actually fine. It's pretty young, and they've already invested resources there. So I think Jordan Birch is in my mind, the next best inside lineman. I think they take him here, and they don't look back with any regret. Moving forward, though, we have got the Los Angeles Rams on the clock. Dave, who you got them taking?
This is where I have Colston Loveland going. I think they need to get better from Tyler Higbee. They're going one last run with Stafford, and they're losing at least one receiver. So he makes a lot of sense to me to open up the run game a little bit and get some passing going.
Yeah. Mace, who you got going here?
I have Derek Harmon out of Oregon here, defensive tackle. He's a bit on the undersized just the way Aaron Donald was. I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald in the slightest, but he's of that mold, of that closer to 310 as opposed to 330 range for a D tackle. He's more of a 3 technique for them. And I think he's way more stout in the run game than he gets credit for. So I think this is a solid pick for that defense who's only going to get better. A young defense that's only going to get better.
I can see that. For me, this is where I think somebody's actually going to reach out on Shamar Turner. I think that they're going to look at him and say, we can get more out of him just because of his physical size. I think it's going to be an all right pick, but not a great one. I'm not real high on Mr. Turner. I watched this film and he makes me kind of nervous. Baltimore Ravens on the clock. Dave, who you got them taking?
Ravens are very lucky here because there's so many edges, and I think a lot of teams go too much for specific traits because I have not said James Pierce's name yet, and I think he could be a top 10 pick in a lot of drafts. I'm really high on James Pierce. He's still available for a team that could get to the quarterback better, so I have the Ravens grabbing him.
Mace, who you got them taking?
I have them going cornerback out of I have them taking Hairston Maxwell from Kentucky. For whatever reason, they can't keep their cornerbacks healthy, so they have to. They can't keep a healthy secondary. They can't do it.
Yeah, for me, I've got them going Benjamin Morrison here just strictly because, good God Almighty, do they need more bodies in the secondary? And I think Benjamin Morrison is a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that they're reaching, but yeah, they need secondary help badly. Moving on here, though, we've got the Detroit Man Campbell Lions. Dave, who do you got them drafting?
I have them. They love to reach a little bit. I don't think this is too much for reach, but this is definitely a second round talent to me. But I think the right situation could really highlight him. Princely Umanmielen from Ole Miss, getting after the quarterback and some help in the run game there on defense.
I like that a lot. Mace, who do you got them going here?
I have them taking a cornerback right here from Florida State. I'm gonna butcher his first name. I'm just gonna say Thomas. His measurables were outrageous. I think he came in at like 6'3" or something like that at the cornerback spot. And they kind of play that Tampa 2 style. So having a 6'3" cornerback underneath those routes.
I can understand that. This is one where I kind of debated. I'm not going to lie. Because in my mind, they should go Shamar Stewart here. I think they should. They should take the chance and try and get another guy across from Hutchinson. But I really, really, really see them doing something real silly and taking like Jack Sawyer here, bro. Just being like, we see something y'all don't, because they've done that a few times, and I just see it happening. So I hope I'm wrong.
That's fair.
I'm wrong. Buffalo Bills on the clock. Dave, who you got them taking?
I'm going with Josh Connerly here, guard from Oregon. I think that just keep bolstering that offensive line. They got the quarterback, got running back. I think they figured out they can make any receivers work, so I'm going there.
Mace, who you got them taking?
I have Malachi Starks here. They've got to get some playmaking ability in that secondary again.
For me, I've actually got them going Luther Burden here. I really think that they're going to continue to try and add some more weapons on that offense and get some guys in there that can make some explosive plays for them, and I think Burden has that ability, so real easy pick for me. He falls right into their lap, and it's a perfect need for them because their cap is still screwed up, so they ain't going to be able to invest on offense. Chiefs on the clock here. Who do you got the defending AFC champions going?
I believe we may have skipped a pick because we have not talked about the Commanders yet.
Oh, did we? Oh, I did miss the Commanders. Yes, the Commanders are actually this next pick, and then it's the Chiefs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Commanders at 29 is who I had Josh Connerly going to. So when I said Connerly, that was not to the Bills. That was to the Commanders. And I just looked and was like, wait a second. I wouldn't have drafted Connerly to the Bills. But yes, Connerly's going to the Commanders for me. And then I'll let y'all do your Commanders picks, and we'll talk about – I'll give my Bills pick. We'll jump into the Chiefs.
Go ahead, Mace.
So this is where I have Tyler Booker going. I think that he would be the perfect fit for a team that knows they're going to have to be more physical in the run game, especially with a team that likes to run some QB power and stuff like that. You're going to need a big body to push some people around.
All right. So, Dave, give me your Bills pick, and then we'll move down to the Chiefs.
Yeah. For the Bills, I actually also had Malachi Starks going to the Bills there for the exact reason, playmaker in the defense. And then for the Kansas City Chiefs, this is where I got Gray Zabel going from North Dakota State, bolstering up that offensive line who just got destroyed in the Super Bowl. So I got him, Zabel, going there.
Mace, who you got him taking?
This is another run to the podium pick for me, Josh Simmons. If he's there, run. Like your life depended on it.
I like that. This is a weird one. Whoever's the best offensive lineman they need to take, for me at that point, it is probably, I'm sorry, I got a little lost on my list here. It's probably like Emory Jones Jr. They probably need to invest there. Another tackle. And then last but not least here, the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got Howie Rosen going with here?
Yeah, they're going to keep going SEC defensive linemen because they're going to lose a couple guys this offseason. I have them going with Landon Jackson. I think he fits the 4-3 defensive end position well for them.
Mace, who you got him going?
I actually have them going in the secondary with Trey Amos out of Mississippi.
Nice.
Yeah. For me, this is going to be one of those where I think Howie loves certain traits. And a 6'2", 210 wide receiver that's got pretty good arm size too. He ain't gonna pass up on that. I think he reaches up here and he goes Alec Amanier. I think that's how you say his name.
Oh yeah, from Stanford.
From Stanford, yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they go here and they continue to bolster that offense. But all that being said, we got to get rocking up out of here. Dave, tell the people where to find you.
Yes, sir. You can find my personal Twitter account. It's the only place I go to, and I don't call it X. Elon, come after me if you want. My Twitter account is at Davey.17, DAVEY.17, DOTS. And then you can listen my brand new show that's coming out. We're recording our first episode this week. It's going to be the Professionally Profane podcast, putting a little bit of flavor into the Chicago sports world, showing you could use some adult language while keeping it keep it uptight. So you can find us at Profane Pod on Twitter, and look up Professionally Profane on YouTube. Me and my guy Phil Vanderheiden are going to be hosting that show.
Nice. Mace, tell the people where to find you.
You already know, man. Twitter, funky_stuff09, twitch.tv/swaggymace. Hit your boy up.
Yep, you can find me, people, at JSpanderman everywhere. You'll either see my pretty face or you will see the ITC logo. Make sure you like, subscribe, review us. Because guess what? I'm a really nice guy, but I will call you out when I see you in person. All that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this was our draft special of your favorite weekly sports show, and that is ITC
Sportsball.